Inflation falls to a 5-month low. Moving on from markets, some good news. India's retail inflation has slowed to a 5-month low in Jan as food price inflation cooled off, increasing the likelihood of another rate cut in April. Annual retail inflation was 4.31% for Jan, lower than the estimates of 4.6 and 5.22, that's the band, by most economists, according to Reuters polls. Retail inflation was at about 3.6% in August 24. All of this is according to data released by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Interestingly, the data shows higher inflation in rural areas at 4.6% compared to 3.87 or 3.9 in urban regions. Food inflation slowed in January, though it remained high at about 6%, thanks to high prices of vegetables, fruits, oils, and fats, and that was about 8.4% in December. In January, vegetable prices rose about 11% year on year. This compares to 26% increase in the previous month. So net vegetable prices are still quite high. So will all of this and the imminent rate cuts or likely rate cuts help the economy pick up pace? I reached out to Aditi Nair, chief economist at rating agency ICRA, and I began by asking her what other signals she was seeing in the economy before coming to the interest rate question.
Thank you for having me. So basically, let me start with the CPI inflation number. It came in lower than we expected, and we're projecting it to fall further to 4% in February, which is going to be the last print that the MPC has when it holds its next scheduled meeting in April. And this is quite significant because 4% is that elusive midpoint of the MPC's medium term target range of 2 to 6%. So if that is the case, that's going to be setting us up with a very high likelihood of another rate cut coming in the April policy itself. Now, when we look at what caused CPI inflation to fall between December and January, primarily it was food inflation, but it was not very broad based. So a few items led to this correction in food inflation, particularly vegetables. But that's been a big pain point over the last several quarters. So it's not bad news in a sense. I think any fall in food inflation is very welcome. When we look at the Rabi output that is expected, the Rabi sowing right now, and the reservoir levels, all of that gives us a good amount of comfort on the food inflation front going forward. Now, other couple of other things that could, of course, impact the inflation trajectory. One is what happens globally in terms of tariffs and other policy changes and the impact it has on both commodity prices as well as on the exchange rates. Now, the CPI itself is not very sensitive to exchange rate movements. The transmission is typically lagged and incomplete. Incomplete in a sense that services inflation tends to not be affected by what happens with exchange rates because services tend to be pretty much domestically produced and consumed. As opposed to the WPI, which has a much higher weightage of traded commodities, tends to see a much quicker transmission of exchange rate movements. Other than that, we've had the budget, which has given an almost equal boost in terms of the capex increment, which is about 1 trillion between this year and next year, and the consumption boost in terms of the tax relief, which is also about 1 trillion. Now, my sense is that when we look at the per month average amount of tax relief, it's not huge. We think most of it is going to be spent. Some of it may also go into younger adults acquiring their first home because there will be an improvement in the home loan eligibility after the tax cuts. And my sense is that the tax relief is probably going to be largely spent on services where the inflation has not been a big concern of late.
But you're really saying that's 6,000-7,000 rupees a month, right? Is that's the additional income in the hands of additional or potentially additional income? So you talked about the tariff uncertainty. So the uncertainties for countries which are raising tariffs, it doesn't look like India is going to raise tariffs. On the contrary, we've already, in anticipation, reduced tariffs, though the products on which we've reduced are very few at this point. So why would that be a concern?
The concern is what will happen to overall global trade flows if the US raises tariffs on additional countries going forward. And does that happen to India as well? So, firstly, we've already seen tariffs being increased on some countries and on some products. Now, going forward, is it going to be uniform across countries on certain products, or is it again going to be more country specific? And where does India get bracketed? So, we heard some signals in the last couple of weeks that India might get clubbed with the BRICS in terms of having a common tariff imposition. We don't know whether that is going to happen. So we don't know how much our exports are going to get affected on what items. And therefore, we are not quite clear on what will be the trend of the INR over the next few months.
The first rate cut has happened after 5 years. Another one is imminent, as you're saying now. Both come through in the next one being in 2 months' time. How do you see the overall impact on economic activity or the economy as a whole?
The interest rate cuts pass through very quickly into things like EMIs. So there again, the tax relief and the potential EMI relief will give a boost to consumption. And where we've been most concerned over the last couple of quarters is parts of urban consumption. So rural now is expected to do better with overall trends for the agri economy looking healthier. We expect rural demand to be more sustained going forward. But urban demand was extremely uneven. High end demand seemed to be very much intact. Mid level and lower income urban households seem to be more impacted by the fact that food inflation in particular was quite high over a period of time. So, if we do have food inflation coming down, we have tax relief for the salaried households, and we have EMIs which can potentially come off over the next couple of quarters, then all of this will provide a sentiment boost, and we do expect that consumption demand is going to be better. Now, that is also something that is going to be important for private capex to come back. In a global scenario where exports are quite uncertain, only when we have a lot more confidence on the domestic demand sustaining would we expect the capex cycle to significantly improve.
Right. And in a broad sense, or rather in the past, we've seen that food prices have moved quite erratically, as in we've not really been able to predict, and particularly potatoes, onions, tomatoes, and so on, and maybe more tomatoes and onions. So, given that, I mean, could prices again start swinging? I mean, is that a possibility? And if so, are we ready for it or geared for it?
To be very honest, as a forecaster, I kind of assume we are going to have a vegetable price shock at some point in the year. I just don't know when and which item. Unfortunately, that definitely remains a risk. The other thing is that, in general, agroclimatic risks seem to be on the rise. So while I'm saying that, in the immediate term, the Kharif output was good, Rabi sowing is higher than last year, and very importantly, reservoir levels in many regions are quite healthy, which takes away the anxiety related to the onset of the next monsoon to an extent. So all of this sets us up for a better outlook for crop inflation. But of course, you can have like freak weather events which create short term or, the pain as far as perishables are concerned and can also impact particular crops.
Right. Aditi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.